could use one of those. Let's see what more information I can find out about that. Scroll down a bit. Oh, look, frequently asked questions. Oh, and these people who bought it also looked at this stuff. Hey, everybody. What can we learn from Amazon that could benefit our e-commerce businesses? That's today's topic. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Frank Blanchard, AIFD, and as you probably guessed, I'm going to talk a little bit about e-commerce, how it works, and what we potentially could learn from Amazon, the big powerhouse on the internet, that could potentially benefit our online e-commerce businesses. Now, I really got to thinking about this because the last couple of days I've actually been working on a couple of different clients' websites, working on product descriptions and the SEO on their websites. And especially if you are an online florist, I'm really kind of gearing this to you. However, the general rules for e-commerce pretty much apply to anyone with any kind of e-commerce business. As a society worldwide, we are very much an information-based society. We love learning about things and getting information about the stuff we want and need, or the things we need to do. So we're always searching online and on web for answers to our questions. And ultimately, when it comes to e-commerce websites, and actually any kind of website for that matter, that's where SEO, or search engine optimization, comes into play, and keywords and keyword phrases that you've probably heard people talk about. You might not really know how they work, but you know they're important. So the question is, how do they work and what is it that they actually do? So take into consideration you have a business, a small business of some sort, and you've decided to base your business on selling whatever it is that you sell, possibly flowers, on an e-commerce based website platform. Now, you've got a website, then the question is, how do people find you? Well, there are constantly billions and billions and billions of people searching online at any given moment. And we're generally searching for questions, or we have questions that we are searching for answers for, to either provide us with more information that solves a problem or a search query, or it provides us with a product that we need for such and such issue that we're having. And by doing our searches by way of one of the search engines, we're typing away, putting our inquiry in there, and inevitably we're using keywords. And specifically for e-commerce, we have to kind of get behind the psychology of how shoppers, specifically online shoppers, are thinking, and be thinking about what it is that they're searching for that we potentially can solve their problem or be able to provide them with the product that they are looking for or the service, etc. So, keywords is basically how the search engines find us. They find our little spot on the internet where our business happens to be sitting, and then it enables those search engines to crawl our website and look for the best answers that solve people's search query. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how SEO works and search engine optimization for e-commerce based businesses. And today I'm specifically kind of talking to retail florists and online florists, how I was mentioning earlier. But again, this applies to any e-commerce platform. So we know we need to get those keywords onto our website, and there are a few things that we need to make sure that we kind of understand and are aware of to make sure that our websites always work. And that is, what keywords are working today aren't necessarily the keywords that are going to work tomorrow or next week or next month or within the next season, depending on if we're a seasonal based kind of business, winter, spring, summer, fall, etc. Or potentially, especially for online florists, when you take into consideration what is the next upcoming big holiday season that is generally a big business boost for us. So when it comes to the specific items on our website, a couple of things to keep in mind. One, you don't want to actually offer too many options for people because, one, it makes it harder for your potential customers to make up their mind as to what they want, and they might not make a decision, and that's when they can end up bouncing off your website. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, you're not Amazon. Yes, on Amazon, they have bazillions of things on their website for sale at any given time. However, they have huge departments of personnel, people, employees that do nothing but SEO work, search engine optimization, product descriptions, digital marketing, online marketing, and you don't have those people. When it comes to your business, you're it. So don't try to be like Amazon. Pare down your offerings and ramp up your search engine optimization and your keyword work within your descriptions for what you do have to offer on your website. So, some numbers to keep in mind. In general purposes for e-commerce, and I'm not just talking florists now, I'm talking about e-commerce in general. The best practices for the description of an item right now is to have a description that contains between 1,700 and 2,000 words. And within those words and within your text content, you are inserting and making sure to include keywords, and specifically ranking keywords to help you show up on the first page or two of the search engines. Ultimately, you're shooting for page 1. Ultimately, you're also shooting for showing up on the first page of Google, especially because about 93 to 95% of everybody online during the day, if they're needing to search for anything, they use Google more than any other search engine. So we need to make sure that we are really getting down to the nitty-gritty of getting digital content for the descriptions of your items on your e-commerce website. When I do a web audit for people, usually one of the first things I learn, and what as florists we generally fall short on, is our website overall has a low word count, which makes it hard for the search engines to actually crawl and search our websites looking for answers to people's search query. So that's why it's really important to really spend time on the descriptions of the items that you have on your website. Now, I mentioned having 1,700 to 2,000 words within your description, or what makes up the description of your items on your website. And that might make people start to panic. Now I'm specifically talking to e-commerce florists. What I've found seems to work really well is to have approximately, and it doesn't have to be the same on every single item on your website, but you want to shoot for having between 3 to 4 good paragraphs of information specifically about every single item you have on your website. So, just by me saying that should give you some indication of why I really suggest to people it is not a good thing to have 200, 300 or more items on your website, because somebody needs to be adjusting and altering descriptions of things and potentially using different keywords and changing things up periodically. You don't do it just once and then you're done. That does not work. It does not work. It does not work. Working digital content and doing SEO is something that periodically needs to be updated. And words and phrases that might have worked today, 3 months from now, aren't going to work. So if you still want that particular item to sell really well on your website, somebody needs to go in there and adjust the SEO and the text content that you have in the description of that item. And then you have to actually watch. You have to watch and see what it does, and look at the analytics of your website and of the individual pages of your website to see if what you did worked or if you still have adjustments that you need to do. So hopefully this bit of information will inspire you to get on your website. And I don't really care who hosts your website, who created your website, what platform you're on. That part doesn't really matter. If you have control of your website and you can actually do some of this work yourself, that can be good as long as it's being done and done well. But it does actually have to happen. If you've got a website and you have a 1-sentence description of items that you have for sale on your website, That's not enough. You're literally not giving the search engines enough information to answer anybody's question. So usually what then happens is you notice you just don't get much online business. If you take the time to get more information that is technically correct information about whatever it is you're selling on your website, the more content you can get on there, the better. So for e-commerce florist, 3 to 4 paragraphs worth of text content is good. If you have some other kind of e-commerce based business, again, you might want to have fewer items to sell, but really ramp up your digital marketing, text content, keyword work, keyword research, and work that into your overall SEO plan for your website in order to organically gain the most organic web traffic you can, because ultimately that's what you're going for. Real quickly, that also brings up the question about paying for ads on the web, such as Google ads, etc. Google ads are all fine and good. However, everything that I talked about before, getting that content on your website, getting your descriptions down for every single item on your website, for paid ads to actually work, all of that work for text content and descriptions has to be done first. Did you get that? It has to be done first so that the ads can actually work, because the ads, for all general purposes, are all based around keywords and ranking keywords and how they are used throughout the phrasing, because you want to use a conversational tone in the phrasing, in the descriptions of the items on your website. And again, you also want to be thinking of anywhere that you can continually and regularly be adding more and new content. That's really what the search engines are searching for. If you get to a point where you get a website and you get it up and then it just sits there and you never add anything new, never change the text content, don't add any new text content in the way of maybe a blog or update your about section of your website, etc., that's when the search engines actually start to ignore you and you can essentially be penalized by the search engines. And instead of rising in rank with the search engines, you start going down. So I encourage you, especially now that we're at the end of the summer, and now especially I'm specifically talking to e-commerce online florists, now would be a really good time to look at the overall digital content and the amount of text content that you have on your website. And now would also be a really good time to be ramping that up, because we are going into fall, we are getting closer to the holiday season. So that's all gonna make a big difference in how much work and how much online business you get from your website. So that's a really good lesson that we can all take from looking at Amazon every once in a while, and look at how they describe stuff. And look at how much digital text content they have for every single item on the website. And then maybe dilute that a little bit. Doesn't have to be quite as extensive, but apply that same kind of tactic to the items on your e-commerce website. So for today, those are my online website, digital marketing, and SEO tips for your small business. I hope you give this video a thumbs up today, and if you like this kind of information, definitely subscribe to my channel. I add and upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you'd like to get a notification when I do upload a new video, by all means, hit that bell icon. Until I see you again, stay safe, everybody. Do something creative. Do something you love. And we'll see you very soon. Bye for now.